Welcome to Trending Upward, a podcast that is dedicated to helping you grow deeper in your walk with the Lord. In each episode, we share clear and concise Bible truths that are designed to encourage, challenge, and strengthen you in your walk with the Lord. Whether you're just beginning your Christian journey or have been walking with Christ for years, Trending Upward is here to help you keep moving forward and steadily ascending in your relationship with Christ. Today we will be on part number 22 of our series on the prayers of God's people, and we will be looking at Gideon and his prayer for assurance. And our text is found in Judges 6, verses 36 through 37. And Gideon said unto God, If thou wilt save Israel by mine hand, as thou hast said, behold, I will put a fleece of wool in the floor. And if the dew be on the fleece only, and it be dry upon all the earth beside, then shall I know that thou wilt save Israel by mine hand, as thou hast said. Gideon's prayer is primarily found in verse 36, If thou wilt save Israel by mine hand, as thou hast said. The word if is important here in Gideon's prayer. If essentially means whether or not. Has someone ever told you that they were going to do something and then you sat back and essentially had a if they do it mentality or whether or not mentality? Sometimes we doubt the word and the follow-through of those who are perhaps hasty to commit and perhaps slow at their follow-through. You see, Gideon wasn't being disrespectful here in his prayer. Gideon sounds as though he was uncertain. Maybe some doubt had crept in, and that happens with us. God says something, and then we say, if this is what's happening, when we know the Lord is leading us in a particular direction. Now, I personally believe that Gideon was praying for assurance that God was going to show up and that God was going to come through for him and that God was going to use him. We are people who need reassurance from God when he gives us direction. Every big move I have ever taken for the Lord has come with a reassurance from God on multiple occasions. And the bigger the decisions, the more reassurance that we need to take those leaps of faith. Most people who have trusted Christ as their personal Savior has come to experience seasons of great doubts in terms of their salvation and was standing in need of assurance of the salvation that they possessed. Gideon sought reassurance because he felt weak. Gideon felt uncertain. Gideon wanted to make sure, even though God said it, and Gideon states that in his prayer. Gideon knew what God said. He knew it. But Gideon needed reassurance. What did God do? God patiently strengthened his faith. I want to remind you today that God understands our fears and God leads us forward. God knows that we're weak. I'm reminded of Psalm 78 and verse 39, for he remembered that they were but flesh, a wind that passeth away and cometh not again. I ask you today, what fear is keeping you from obeying God? What fears are keeping you from trusting him fully? Has God given you direction and you are following him in need of reassurance? You know, it's better to seek reassurance from God than it is to live in seasons, long seasons of doubt. Doubt is a rough path to trod. But having the assurance of God in this life is peace. So I invite you, go to God as Gideon did for the reassurance that we often need in this life. Thanks for tuning in to Trending Upward. If today's episode encouraged you, be sure to share it with someone who could use that same truth. I invite you to keep seeking, keep growing, and keep your eyes fixed on the Lord. So until next time, stay grounded in His Word and keep trending upward.